President, thank you. For the entire time that I've been a member of the United States Senate, I've had the privilege of having on my team a Kansan who invests his time, his energy, his passion. He gives his heart for helping my constituents, for helping our constituents, for helping Kansans and Americans. Tyler York has worn many hats in my office. He was a district representative, a caseworker, a videographer, and a legislative advisor. Tyler and I first met when he was completing his degree at Kansas State University, and he became, I needed some help, and he helped me in 2010 on my Senate campaign. As a result, as being a recent graduate from Kansas State University, Tyler was open to new opportunities and got the job driving me across Kansas. And during a 2-hour drive on I-70 from Manhattan to the airport, it became apparent to me that this young man was someone I wanted on my team, and I've benefited from his service every day. At least in this instance, I was right about him. Tyler York joined my newly formed Senate team in Washington, D.C., doing both constituent services and legislative work. A Kansan through and through, and after a few years in Washington, D.C., like many, Tyler decided to continue his work as a district representative to get back home to Kansas. Tyler quickly became integrated, became familiar with the communities in South Central Kansas, and whether he was meeting with local leaders, making community visits, or assisting Kansans with problems they were having with the federal government, you could always count on Tyler to be diligently working with a smile on his face to solve a problem, to help people, to get things done. Through his time assisting folks with federal issues, doing what we all here call casework, Tyler became our go-to guy for issues related to many things, including the United States Post Office. And as many of my colleagues know, we've had lots of casework involving the challenges of the United States Post Office getting the mail delivered. Ready, willing, and able, he stepped up to every task. Tyler worked especially in rural areas to improve the consistency and the quality of postal service. His work on this issue and others certainly did not go unnoticed, and I'd like to share some of the comments I received from community leaders once they learned that Tyler was moving on. LaVonna Duvall, who's the president and CEO of the Finney County Economic Development Corporation, shared, "We so appreciated Tyler York's role in expanding Senator Moran's Southwest presence. Senator Moran recognized that our region was growing and that we had needs that differed from many other places in the state of Kansas, and he chose well in appointing Tyler, a native of our region, to create Southwest Kansas office. Tyler did a great job providing connectivity between our region and the Senator's office in Washington, D.C., and we will forever be grateful for Tyler's leadership in representing us for our needs at the federal level. We only wish Tyler the very best in his future endeavors." Steve Dyers, the former president of the Garden City Chamber, Tyler's dedication to serving Kansans on behalf of Senator Moran was always evident. He was responsive to our needs, always prompt and available, and he worked his tail off to ensure that our voices were heard, our questions were answered, and our needs were met. And then Megan Barfield, the president of the CEO of the Great Bend Chamber of Commerce. I've had the privilege of knowing Tyler for 5+ years, now during my time as the Great Bend Chamber exec. He's always presented himself as one of the most engaged and truly genuine people that I know. I had little experience in legislative affairs coming into my role, and I could always call on Tyler and trust him with whatever questions or direction I needed. Great Bend and Barton County, thank you, and we'll miss you, Tyler. Much of Tyler's most important work happened during times of hardship and adversity. In March of 2017, a wildfire burned across western Kansas, stirred up by high winds and fueled by dry prairie grasses. The fire lasted nearly a week and burned more than 450,000 acres across Kansas. Farms, ranches, businesses, homes were lost to the fires. And this fire occurred around Ashland, Kansas, in the county that is Tyler's hometown and home county. And it was one of the main victims of that fire. So his hometown, his neighbors, the people he grew up with were in jeopardy. It was a devastating time for the community, but they had a great ally in Tyler. They knew him and they trusted him. In the weeks following the fire, Tyler worked nonstop connecting first responders, landowners, local leaders with federal emergency resources. He kept me informed and updated on the situation on the ground and helped create legislation to change the way that the federal government delivers aid to help pay for fencing and the loss of cattle. That legislation became law and made a significant difference then and continuing. He took great care of the people of Ashland, not just because it was his job, but because he truly, truly cared about them. Tyler's help also extended beyond the borders of Kansas to the country of Afghanistan. Following the U.S. military's abrupt withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021, we began receiving calls. As I recall, we received more than 1,000 inquiries from Kansas asking what we could do to help people who were stranded in Afghanistan, people who helped our soldiers, our interpreters, people who had a religion different than what the Taliban's beliefs are. 1,000+ Kansans said, we need your help to get somebody out of Afghanistan that we know. Tyler quickly became personally invested in these cases. This was a very difficult time for all of us, and Tyler working day and night, making phone calls, contacting embassies. He was one of those individuals who took the people's problems, which in this case were life and death, to heart. It was a difficult time for Tyler and for our office, as he wanted to have success in getting every individual that he learned about out of Afghanistan. He helped rescue 23 people, including children, from Kabul, Afghanistan in 2021. One set of Kansans Tyler's helped was the family of U.S. Army veteran Fatima Jakhori. She had this to share about Tyler. Tyler York truly embodies the American spirit, helping others see the vision of the American dream by building ties with community members, listening to Kansans, and working tirelessly for Americans. It was one of the most uncertain times in history. Tyler acted to ensure all Kansans were heard, welcomed, and supported. Words cannot express my gratitude for Tyler. Tyler is the compass pointing at the direction to be a great American and a greater man. Tyler became friends of those people he helped escape from Afghanistan. He became a part of their families. I know that this job often took Tyler on the road driving around Kansas and missing valuable time with his family, his wife, Alicia. I want to express my gratitude to Tyler's family for supporting him in his work and for being gracious when he had to miss dinner or an important event because he was pulled away to work. Tyler spent his entire career on Capitol Hill in my office, and for that I would like to express my gratefulness to him. While I'm saddened that his time working for me has concluded, I'm thankful to have had the opportunity to work with him, beside him, over the last 14 years. He kept good stats on the work that he did, and it's quite impressive. 4,191 meetings, 2,053 individuals, families, organizations that he assisted in casework, 761 reports or memos drafted, 105 counties visited, that's every county in Kansas, 11 years of working to pass legislation to reform the post office, 3 new USDA programs developed as a direct result of the 2017 fires in Clark County. In the next phase of his career, Tyler will still be helping Kansans as an executive officer with the Wichita Area Builders Association, supporting home builders, their customers, and the regional industry in South Central Kansas. Tyler, your invaluable experience, joyful attitude, your constant drive to improve not only yourself, but those around you, and I include me, as being improved by your presence in my personal and professional life. You are and will be dearly missed. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and I look forward to hearing of your continued service to our state and its people. Mr. President, I yield the floor.